everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So the LA Times is sounding the alarm, all you people out in California. You could be hit by an 8.2 mega earthquake, and damage would be catastrophic. Even in California, where you have these buildings that are hardened against earthquake, once you start talking about 8.2, all the hardening in the world ain't going to matter. It says the magnitude 8.2 earthquake that ravaged southern Mexico on Thursday was the largest to shake the country in nearly a century. Like California, Mexico is seismically active, and they've seen smaller earthquakes that have caused death and destruction. But Thursday's tremor is a reminder that even large earthquakes, while rare, do occur. Now, scientists say it's possible for Southern California to be hit by a magnitude 8.2 earthquake. Such a quake would be far more destructive to Los Angeles because of the San Andreas Fault, and because that it runs very close to and underneath densely populated areas. Another brainiac type of thing that actually took place. Yes, let's build houses and nuke plants on board right over a major fault line. It says the devastating quakes that hit California over the last century were far smaller than the trembler on Thursday, which Mexican authorities set at magnitude 8.2, and the U.S. Geological Survey placed at 8.1. Mexico's earthquake produced 4 times more energy than the great 1906 San Francisco earthquake, a magnitude 7.8, which killed 3,000 people and sparked a fire that left much of the city in ruins. Now, Southern California's most recent megaquake was 1857, also estimated at 7.8, but over an area that was sparsely populated. Now, a magnitude 8.2 earthquake would rupture the San Andreas Fault from the Salton Sea close to the Mexico border all the way to Monterey County. The fault would rupture through counties including Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino. Now, an 8.2 earthquake would be far worse here because the San Andreas Fault runs right through areas such as Coachella Valley, home to Palm Springs, and the San Bernardino Valley, along with the San Gabriel Mountains north of Los Angeles. The fault's about 30 miles from downtown Los Angeles. Now, Thursday's earthquake occurred in the ocean off Mexico's coast and began about 450 miles from Mexico City. And it was relatively deep, starting about 43 miles underneath the surface. So in Mexico, you've got many people a pretty long ways from it. And in California, you'd have people right on top of it. And it would be shallow and running in your backyard. So that's kind of the issue with Los Angeles. Now, let's talk about why these things occur. You know, it was right before this that we had the largest solar flare in about 10 years, an X9.3, accompanied by a very large CME, coronal mass ejection, from the sun. And guys like Suspicious Observers and Dutch Sense over on YouTube have done a ton of good research that show the correlation between solar activity and earthquakes, solar activity and weather, solar activity and our magnetic field. It's very interesting in how much we rely on the sun and its cyclical nature to keep the engine going for our planet and its cyclical nature. And when they have these events that pop off that aren't part of the cycle, it screws not just with the sun, it screws with us in a very large way. And in this case, that CME started hitting, and boom, 8.1 magnitude earthquake. And it was a big one. And I bet you if you go and you look back through history and all of these major quakes, what you'll come to find out is solar activity or some sort of solar activity occurred that was outside the norm of the cycle when these occurred. It's an amazing correlation. I think on Suspicious Observer, Ben Davidson, I think he's about 75% accurate on these major quakes as far as where they're going to hit and when they're going to hit based on solar activity alone. I mean, that's huge. And if we can use that type of prediction capability, we might be able to, just like tornadoes, be able to sound an earthquake alarm and get people to go to shelter and save a lot of lives that right now we're not doing because USGS and other scientific experts don't recognize the correlation. So these are things to think about. But yeah, LA Times saying, California, get ready. The big one's coming. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.